Hey, welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Don't turn that channel. On this program, we have a very special couple raised in foster care that are now adoptive parents and foster parents at Second Chance Youth Ranch, and his conversion story is amazing. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Hey, welcome to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. I'm your host, Perry Black, and on this show we have two very special guests that maybe some folks have already seen you on previous shows. Tell us who you are, where are you from?
I'm Zack, and I'm from North Little Rock, Arkansas. And this is my wife here next to me.
Chelsey from North Little Rock as well.
So you guys, on this show, what we really want to highlight, as we do on most of our Second Chance Ranch shows, is number one, what is Second Chance Ranch? There's possible somewhere in the Victory Television Network viewing audience that they've never seen this show. Can you imagine that? I can't imagine it. Our God's an exceeding and abundant God, so I know He's getting the word out about the great need in our state for fostering, mentoring, and adopting. The reason I love having you on the show is because you were raised in foster care, and
Yes,
now as a married couple, you guys are foster parents at Second Chance Youth Ranch.
That's right.
So tell me a little bit, Zack, where did you guys grow up? I know a little bit of the story. Where did you meet?
We met in North Little Rock. We were both working at a sandwich place called Subway.
So that's a great place to meet a future wife.
Yes, sir.
Subway needs to get us some money coming this way, because that right there is pretty good advertising.
Yes, sir. And we started out as co-workers, and then one thing led to another.
To another.
And that was...
So how long have y'all been married now?
We've been married 8 years. Mm-hmm. 8 years.
So tell me, Zack, specifically in your case, where did you grow up, and what was the situation that put you in foster care, if you don't mind telling us a little bit of that?
Well, it's always hard to answer that question when people ask me, where did I grow up? Because my parents, they say they were allergic to the police.
Yeah, well, aren't we all?
And when they would get around them, they would break out in felonies.
Yeah.
And so
they'd break out in felonies, huh?
Right, yes, sir. There was always warrants and stuff, and so we would go from one county to another. Yeah. I think I've attended 15 different schools.
Wow.
So I really don't know. I always choose Perryville as a place of where I grew up.
Yeah.
Because we spent
so y'all kind of hovered around the Perryville. That's Perry County also,
Perry
right?
Perry County, yes, sir.
Yeah, they named that after me, you know.
I knew it.
Yeah, well, probably not. But, even God-fearing people driving down the highway, you know what they do when they see the police? They immediately, and they look at the speedometer. I don't know what ungodly people do. I guess they just speed up.
Maybe so, yes, sir.
So your family had some very personal issues that were devastating to your family structure. Can you tell us about that?
That's right. Of course, there was drugs and alcohol and just a dysfunctional family all the way around. And now, don't get me wrong, there was lots of love and good mom and dad moments, but not the typical, not the optimal upbringing for a child. And so after my mom caught pneumonia when I was 8 years old, her body was just beat up from alcoholism that she passed away from pneumonia. And things went downhill real bad from there. Was she a little
bit of the glue that held the family
she was.
The best she could together?
She was. My dad physically was in bad shape because of some accidents and some things that happened to his body. And so she was the only one who could work because he's legally disabled. And so she was the breadwinner, and now she's gone when I'm at the age of 8.
How many kids in the family? Siblings?
Just my brother and I.
Just you. And how old, is he older or younger?
He was younger, so he was 6.
But is he still living?
He is, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so with no income other than a disability check, we ended up homeless, moving around a bunch, couch hopping from one place to another. And
couch hopping. Now, some folks may not know what that means. That means sometimes y'all need a place to sleep.
Yes, sir. Just to sleep.
Yeah, let me interrupt that story a little bit. We have silhouettes here behind me, and the reason I have them on the set is because just this past weekend, we had children at DCFS sleeping on the couches down at the office downtown Little Rock. And these silhouettes represent over 80 children that we turned away probably in the month of October and November because
Wow.
we were at full capacity at Second Chance Youth Ranch. Which brings me to my next point in the middle of your story, and that is we need more foster parents right now at Second Chance Youth Ranch because we need because the silhouettes represent living children that need a loving, caring, safe, warm place to live during some traumatic issues in their life. So you guys have slept on couches. Now, were those couches at DCFS or just wherever Dad could find a place to put you guys?
Wherever Dad could find a place, because
Yeah.
for families like ours, DHS was the boogeyman. You know, they was the enemy.
Yeah. Yeah, because if they showed up, they might remove the children
Right. Yes, sir.
from an unsafe environment.
That's exactly right.
So how did that experience, we got just a little over a minute, how did that experience impact you at the age of 8, 9 years old?
Well, it was great. As a matter of fact, when we went into our first placement,
Now, when you say it was great, you're talking about when you were put in DCFS care, foster home, or what?
well, I'll back up a little bit. It was very scary. You know, police come in the house. Dad wasn't there at the time. Rounding up kids, and now you're being taken from your home, your friends, your family.
And you were how old at that time?
I was 8 years old.
And they were rounding up kids, more than you and your brother?
Yes, sir. Because at the time, my dad had hooked up with a girlfriend, and she had 4 or 5 kids of her own.
So there were about six or seven of you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And there were no adults there.
No
That
adults.
the police
I
show
was the
up.
oldest.
That's pretty dramatic. Yeah.
I had just finished cooking supper, and I was cleaning up and putting kids to bed.
You were how old?
9 years old at
And
that
you were
time.
cooking supper.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Lord help us. But you know, that's what you got to do to survive. And
That's
that's
right.
why this show exists, is because we want people to know that this stuff is real. These silhouettes, they're made out of cardboard. But we're talking about real lives that need loving help. We're going to take a break and be right back.
A mission field around you is filled with young hearts needing a forever family. And at Second Chance Youth Ranch, our team is committed to providing healthy, stable, loving homes and families to hurting children in the Arkansas foster care system and those up for adoption. Please contact us if you feel the tug at your heart to help foster or adopt, and find out the steps you could take to help fulfill a child's lifelong dream. Maybe you can't foster or adopt, but you could help. The need for thousands of children in the system is staggering. But with the help of faithful partners and business alliances, we are meeting those needs right now. Would you help us make a difference? Every gift, regardless of size, impacts a child's life directly and helps provide for a home in the gap right now. Visit the Second Chance Youth Ranch website at 2CYR.org to read more, watch the stories, and to make a contribution for a hurting child's care. Monthly partners are needed, so please contact us right away. And as you partner with this ministry, you are partnering with the Heavenly Father that has promised to be Father to the fatherless. God bless you for helping Second Chance Youth Ranch.
Hey everybody, Perry Black right here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV, and I want to say a special thank you to all of our friends and partners that are making miracles possible by supporting our new foster home right here in the city of Bryant. Why don't you come in and take a quick look around right here on this beautiful, beautiful day. God bless. Welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. And in our previous segment, Zach, we talked a little bit of how you and Chelsey met and then how you entered the welfare system, or were removed from the home by the police officers that came. There were 6 or 7 kids in the household. You were the oldest at 9, and you had been cooking dinner. I can
Yes,
only
sir.
imagine. What were you cooking? Do you remember?
I have no idea now looking back.
Just
I don't
cooking
remember.
something.
Right.
Yeah.
We were watching VeggieTales. I do remember
Yeah.
that.
Well, that probably made you hungry, didn't it?
Yes, sir.
Again, the silhouettes behind me, for anybody that may have missed part of the earlier segment, these silhouettes represent over 80 children that we've had to turn away from Second Chance Youth Ranch in the latter part of 2020 during COVID,
Wow.
where there has been a rise of children entering foster care when they re-entered school in the fall of 2020. But these are made of cardboard, and you guys are real people. Our children, every child that comes to us at Second Chance Youth Ranch or comes into DCFS care, they're hurting, traumatized, they're afraid. I remember living in Houston, Texas, and my mother was a car hop for a little restaurant. It'd probably be similar to the ones that we go and get ice cream and hamburgers at now. And everybody was on roller skates, and she asked an older man, I don't know how old he was, he probably wasn't that old, but to me as a little kid, and me and my brother, he was asleep. He worked at nights, so he slept during the daytime, and my mother worked sometime in the daytime, so he was supposed to be watching us. Well, he is asleep, and he locked us out of the little upstairs apartment that he had. It was a landing that went up to it. And I remember as a little boy, I was probably 5, how scared I was.
Yeah.
And me and my brother, we just sat on the steps of that landing and didn't know what to do. Didn't know how to get a hold of Mama. We didn't know anybody. The guy won't answer the door. He's asleep. And just that scared feeling of what to do, and nothing to eat. Don't know what to do. And that's really what happens so many times when parents get derailed in their lives due to some very deep personal issues. So, Chelsey, were you raised in care at any time? I know you were raised by your grandfather and grandmother, is that right? At times?
At times, yeah. I kind of swapped back and forth. I went and seen Nana and Papa on almost every vacation, but finally when I was 17, I moved in with them.
Now, are they in the ministry?
They are, yes.
And would people that watch Christian television might know who they are?
Mm-hmm.
What's your papa's name?
Ken Mullen.
Ken Mullen. He's a friend of mine on Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's a fired up preacher.
He is.
Where's his church at?
North Little Rock, Full
Yeah.
Gospel Temple.
Full Gospel Temple. You can probably find it on the web. In the old days, we'd find it in the yellow pages. So you had some Christian influence, but now working at Subway, y'all meet. Things led to the next thing. Next thing you know, might have been the next thing. Might have been a bag of fries or some chips, but eventually you guys got married, and now she's got a granddad who's a preacher, and now she's married to one, Zack.
Yes, sir.
So you go from 9-year-old taking care of all those kids, removed from the home with no adult supervision, into care. How did you make the transition from 9 to 29? How old are you?
I just turned 30.
Okay, so from 9 to 29, how did you go from care to Christianity and the ministry, and now fostering?
Well, it's an incredible story. I didn't become a Christian until I was age 19. And
Well, you beat me. I was 20.
What happened is I got to the point to where, as I remember as an 11-year-old boy, you know, being back and forth from foster homes and shelters and facilities, I remember one day shaking my fist at heaven and hating God because of the childhood I blamed him for.
Yeah.
And I went from hating God to not even believing God as a teenager.
Yeah.
Completely atheistic, anti-religion almost. And then I reached a point to where, man, this world is too incredible. There's got to be something more. And I started seeking answers, and one day I decided to turn to the Bible. And for an atheist, that's dangerous.
Yeah, that's what I did as an atheist.
Absolutely.
Too. Same thing. Open that Bible, and oh my goodness.
I thought I was reading a story of fiction,
Yeah.
but I ended up falling in love with a character named Jesus.
Yeah.
It turns out to be a real person, not a character at all.
When I was in jail in Germany, in Mainz, they brought me 2 little booklets. I asked for something to read. They brought me 2 little booklets. One was the book of Psalms, I didn't know what Psalms are. It's the book of Psalms. And I was so biblically ignorant, I just didn't know. And the other was a little book called Job. And I thought, why would they bring me a Job book in jail, you know? But that's the book of Job. And so I started reading the book of Job because the poetry in Psalms didn't rhyme. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. So I'm reading the book of Job, and I'm thinking, man, this guy's got it worse than I do. So I didn't read much of it. I went back to reading the poetry of the book of Psalms. But then they brought me a paraphrased New Testament. And when I started reading it, it started making sense. And every time I opened it, I said, God, if you're there, show me. If you're real, show me. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
I dare you to pray that prayer if you don't know Jesus. So you started reading the Bible as an atheist. My story too. What happened?
I just fell in love with Jesus, and I had
Well, how
to
did
know
you
more
encounter
about
him though?
Well,
Were you at Subway?
well, a friend of ours at Subway, a mutual friend,
Yeah.
invited me to church,
Yeah.
and I accepted, and I went, and at first I felt out of place,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
absolutely stranger, and you know what? The more I started drawing near to God, the more He started drawing near
You
to
felt
me.
out of place, felt like everybody's looking at you. Man, he's talking straight to me. Man, this story is really powerful. And in our next segment, we're going to find out what happened one day, just like at Subway when you fell in love with Chelsey, that you met Jesus and fell in love. We're going to take a brief break, and we're going to be right back.
Hi, I'm Gwen Garland with Advanced Alarm Technologies, and we're a full-service security company. We offer alarm systems, both burglary and fire, access control, and video cameras.
We've been security professionals since 1988. I have law enforcement background, and spent many years. My father-in-law, who originally got us into all this, used to say we went from locking them up to locking them out. So anyway, that's something we've always done in our family. Well, let's see, I guess we're working on our 4th generation in this business.
Businesses should all partnership with the ranch because not only it's a super wonderful charity, and it's something that will impact the future through the children. It provides good, stable, working folks that will be out in the community working with our businesses and small businesses, but it really impacts the future when you help the children of Second Chance Ranch.
Pastor Black, you say you get under the spout where the glory comes out. And you know, these young kids are in a horrible situation through no fault of their own. And you're not giving them a hand out, you're giving a hand up. And these children become strong, productive members of society with a godly attitude, and they learned to pay it forward from that as well. I always think back to the lady that gave the single mite. That's all she had. There's been times where we didn't have much, and it felt like we were getting attacked from all sides, but we still followed through with our tithe. We still followed through with, when you got that little whisper in your ear, you need to do this. Mm-hmm. And you followed God and you did it. And the abundance that was poured back upon you is just far more than tenfold.
Hi, I'm Perry Black, right here at Arkansas Christian Academy, and I want to strongly encourage you to visit our website or call us and take a tour of ACA. You know, over the past 4 years, our graduating seniors have received over $1.3 million in college scholarships. We're a fully accredited, faith-based Christian school, and in this environment in our world, you need to strongly consider Arkansas Christian Academy. Take a tour, make a phone call, visit our website. We'd love to visit you right here at ACA. God bless. Hey, welcome back to Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Before we get back to this dynamic story of how you met Jesus and how He's transformed your life, connected the two of you, I want to make sure that you do something for me, that you would take a moment and tell your friends, text them, email them, tell them at work, tell them at church. 11 o'clock every Thursday night, Second Chance Youth Ranch TV's on the air. Set your DVR. You don't have to stay up and watch it. I don't even stay up and watch this show. I watch it the next day. Of course, I preview the show prior to its airing, but we need you to get the word out because we have job opportunities, mentoring opportunities, fostering opportunities, and opportunities to be involved and engaged and watch lives changed by the power of God. So speaking of lives changed by the power of God, you left us hanging in the last segment. Somehow you start going to church with a friend that you worked with, and what happened? How many times did you go? You were feeling out of place, and we all feel out of place when we go to church for the first time. We all feel like everybody's looking at us. We always say, well, the roof's going to fall in. Our roof's not going to fall in at Family Church because we're a steel building. It's going to still be here after the rapture. So how many times did you go, and what started taking place? We got about 5 minutes to hear how God changed your life and what He's doing in your life right now.
Well, by this point, the person Jesus I was reading about in the Bible had really piqued my interest.
Yeah.
And then going to church just magnified that effect.
And He piqued your interest because?
Well, you know, He's this selfless guy
Yeah.
who is just full of love
Yeah.
and with no personal gain whatsoever.
Yeah.
Is out to save souls and
they
change
hate him.
lives. And they hated him.
And He just keeps healing people,
Absolutely.
loving people,
Absolutely.
casting out devils, and they just hate Him.
That's right.
And what does He do? He keeps loving people.
Yes, sir.
And that love just started piercing your heart.
Absolutely right.
I was raised in the 60s and 70s in a generation that what we all wanted was love. And that's what I sought. And when I met Jesus, that's what I kept saying, man, I want to go tell everybody about this
Yes,
because
sir.
that's what everybody's looking for. And so what happened?
Well, after maybe half a dozen visits to the church, I could really start feeling the awesome presence of God. And one day I just completely yielded to Him in December of 2009. And I've been following Him ever since.
What did you say? Did you say, Jesus, come into my heart? Did you go to the altar? Did you just pray quietly at home or at church? What?
Well, I believe that there was a moment in the church where they told people to find a place to pray.
Yeah.
And there was dynamic worship and just an awesome atmosphere of praise. And I found a corner, and I just, with tears and my hands lifted, and many people in my same situation around me doing the same thing, I commended my life into His hand.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with Him.
Yeah.
And accepted Him as my Savior.
Yeah. Well, you know, I did it in jail. I didn't go to an altar.
That's awesome.
And I didn't really technically pray what we call the sinner's prayer. It's like I was reading the Bible and it hit me like a ton of bricks. He's alive.
Yes, sir.
He's alive.
That's right.
And when I said, you're real, He came flooding into my life.
Oh, yes.
And I mean the most dramatic experience to this day I've ever had. And I just lay there weeping. You're real. You're real. If you will let me out of this place, I will go tell people for the rest of my life you're real. And here we are on Victory Television Network,
Yes,
all
sir.
over the viewing audience, the state and the surrounding states, telling people that Jesus is real. So you met Him somewhere along the line, you and Chelsey. Chelsey, y'all got married.
We did.
And how long you been married now?
8 years.
8 years. And moving quickly forward, you're adoptive parents.
Yes, sir. Yes,
How
sir.
many children have you adopted?
We have 2. We have a 8-year-old little boy and a 3-year-old little girl.
And how long have they been your children?
Almost 4 years for Gabe, and then it'll be 3 years for Ava.
And that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough just to have 2 adoptive children. So then you came on staff at Second Chance Youth Ranch as foster parents. How long ago?
Almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
And how many foster children, in addition to your adoptive children, do you currently have?
We have 5 right
5.
now.
5. You notice they have to stop and think about this. Because just in the last few days, setting offsets a young lady that needed a place for her and her siblings, and you had a place in your home, and she's now a part of our family and your family.
Yes, sir.
Isn't God good?
He's amazing.
He is amazing.
Incredible.
The love of God is amazing. That He would take an atheist like you and me and a good young lady like Chelsey who has these powerful Christian grandparents and put y'all together, put us together, put this team together, and give us the opportunity to come on television and tell people you can be a part of our family too.
Yes.
There are
That's
children right now that need a place to live, and we have beds at Second Chance Ranch. We have
Yes.
at least 6 placements right now that if we had the right foster parents, we could open that house within 30 days and bring in 6 more children. If you know anyone that's considering adoption or fostering, please let them know about this show. Contact us here at this ministry, Second Chance Youth Ranch TV, or 2CYR.org. There's an opportunity for employment, an opportunity for groups and individuals to volunteer and serve. We'd love to have you become a mentor. You could relieve our house parents, so house parents or foster parents could have a date night. Can't go to the movies anymore, but at least go out to eat, you know. There's so many opportunities for you to get involved, for your business to be involved. And I'm telling you, it's an awesome opportunity. And I know, growing up on a farm in Jonesboro, it's foolish to expect a harvest if you don't plant a seed.
Absolutely.
And here behind us is a silhouette representing over 80 children, now well over 100 children we've turned away just in the last 90 days. And you can help us make a difference by planting a seed, praying a prayer, becoming a part of secondchanceyouthranch.org. God bless you. We love you, and we're praying for you. Guys, thanks for being on the show. Your testimony, your story is amazing. Chelsey, thanks for letting us talk. Yeah. We'll see you next time right here at Second Chance Youth Ranch TV. Bye-bye.
Here at Second Chance Youth Ranch, one of our goals is to keep siblings together. If children have to come into foster care, they should not have to be separated from their siblings. Currently, there's a situation with a sibling group that's homeless. These children are going to be placed in care and separated from each other. The reason? We are full to capacity. Can you help us expand and bring more families together?